Good Sunday evening, meteorologist Nick Kelly here. We are keeping our first alert weather day in place for another round of showers and thunderstorms for tonight. The threats, I've shifted them around a little bit based on how the day has been going so far. I think no matter what, we'll see more moderate to heavy rainfall contribute to a flooding risk for tonight, but if we can still get unstable enough by the time we get into this evening, we can't rule out storms with 60 to 70 mile per hour wind gusts and some large hail and maybe a low-end tornado threat, but that doesn't change the fact that still we'll keep a level 2 to 3 risk for severe weather across much of the Ozarks, in fact the entire Ozarks, as we go through the rest of the evening and into tonight. The reason why we're concerned about the flooding is not just because of what's on the way, but what we've seen already throughout this weekend. 1.2 inches of rain on the average, with some of these heavier amounts across parts of the Ozarks pushing almost up to 5 inches of rain. And that's why we are keeping much of the Missouri Ozarks and a couple of counties in northwestern Arkansas under a flood watch until we hit 7 o'clock going into Monday morning. Doppler radar very late this afternoon showed rain still trying to work out of the eastern Ozarks, but additional rain and storms are really starting to fire up across areas south of Kansas City, northwest of Nevada, and northwest of Stockton Lake. That will be the area that we'll watch for the more potent storms to try to materialize and come at us from the northwest as we go through the rest of the evening. And that is all driven by a cold front that has worked out of Montana already today. It's working across the Sunflower State in Oklahoma right now. Once it passes through, though, that will give us a nice start to the early week with high pressure building in nicely and a dip in the jet stream, especially that upper level low that's going to suppress the summer ridge, that upper level high down to the south to keep the heat away, at least to start the new work week out. But again, as far as the severe threats go, with additional storms on the way tonight, the tornado threat, it's not zero, but it's low compared to the other threats that we have to keep an eye on. Still, that doesn't mean we can dismiss it. So we'll keep an eye on the tornado threat if we get any tornado warnings this evening. I think if we can get unstable enough, the biggest stress will be high winds between 60 to 70 miles per hour. Some large hailstones can't be ruled out, but by far and away, the biggest concerns looks to now be flooding rainfall with more moderate to heavy rain on the way and quite a bit of lightning with these storms. Let's see how Futurecast 1 seems to unfold as we go through the rest of the evening. I think a lot of us can stay relatively quiet, but areas to the north and west of Stockton Lake, will keep an eye out for you because you'll have the first go at some rain and thunderstorms, some of which could be strong to severe. Now, the timing of these storms approaching the I-44 corridor isn't exact. It could be off by an hour or two, but the overall idea is still in place that as we get past sunset, the storms will be making their way southeast across the Ozarks toward the I-44 corridor, and then it's going to encompass the rest of southern Missouri and start to clip northern Arkansas by about the midnight hour. And then we'll just continue with repeated rounds of moderate to heavy rain and thunderstorms primarily as we go through the rest of the night and to get your Monday morning drive started. Thankfully, though, it's not going to stay raining all day long on Monday. We have to deal with showers first thing in the morning, but the rain will clear out after 10 or 11 o'clock in the morning. Skies will quickly turn partly to mostly sunny through the rest of Monday afternoon, leaving us with a dry day to enjoy. Can't rule out some clouds in the eastern Ozarks as we go into Tuesday, but all of us will stay dry with fair skies, generally partly to mostly sunny for our Tuesday. Now, given the round of rain that we'll have to deal with for tonight and into Monday morning, at the very least, on average, 1 to 3 inches of rain. Some of you could see 4 inches, if not more, depending on where that heavy rain can set up and pass on through. That is why we're still keeping a close eye on a flooding threat. Then the rest of the week will be dry as Mother Nature will turn the spigot off, and the upper level setup will actually favor warm temperatures. We're talking about highs in the upper 70s to lower 80s for both Monday and Tuesday. But this change up in the weather setup in the upper levels will not last long. As soon as we hit Thursday, we'll see highs approaching 90 once again as the upper level low departs and that upper level ridge starts to build back in. And indications now point to the upper level ridge almost wanting to park itself on top of the Ozarks. So at the very least, that is going to make sure we see summer heat return as we head toward the end of the week and for the upcoming weekend. So let's break down temperatures for tonight. With the rain and storms on the way, I think it'll force the lows back to 69 in Springfield, 70 in Harrison with that south breeze turning northwest once we get behind that cold front. Then for the day tomorrow, a good northwest wind will allow temperatures to not warm up very much. So it's going to be a very comfortable day with highs near 80 in Missouri and 81 in Harrison in northern Arkansas. In fact, everybody will start in the upper 60s to near 70 for Monday morning, only warming up into the upper 70s to lower 80s in a lot of locations across the Ozarks Monday afternoon. So that is going to be a nice day to get out and enjoy. Then Tuesday morning, a bit chilly. Upper 50s for your lows and maybe some lower 60s south of US Highway 60. Then highs will only go into the middle to upper 70s for Tuesday afternoon. We're back in the lower 80s Wednesday, and back near 90 Thursday. And once we get into next weekend, we'll already see highs back near 93 on Friday. And as we roll in the rest of the 7-day forecast, we will see those nights turn quite mild once again as well. Once we get past Tuesday and Wednesday mornings, lows in the 50s, mid-60s Thursday and Friday morning, and very mild if not warm nights for Friday night and Saturday night with highs almost pushing 100 by the end of next weekend.